Greetings, I'm Zach, and today I wanted to talk retro forms of physical media. Now, if we all remember, I have done 2 previous videos talking about UMD discs for the PSP, which is a very specific and niche physical media format. Now, I have countless times wanted to go into my Laserdisc collection as well, but over the last, I don't know, few months, I got these last year, but I have a small selection of another, even earlier form of physical media that I believe most people probably haven't heard of. And I'm not talking about VHSs, no, everyone has heard of a video, everyone knows what they are. But these look weird. I'm going to tell you that right now. They look really, really weird. I'm going to tell you how they work to an extent, but they are pretty weird. So, if I just go with the first one I have here. Ooh, careful. Gotta be careful, because you can't get these now. Other than secondhand. This is, ladies and gentlemen, a CED. Now, to me, this looks like a massive floppy disk, and to be fair, some people now wouldn't even know what a floppy disk is. I feel as if I'm a child of the 90s, but somehow I am from the 80s in my view of collecting and bits and pieces and all sorts of things. But this is a CED, so if I just go like that. This is the box of the thing, but it also is an integral part as, it is the movie. The box is the movie, it holds the movie. It is used in the putting of the movie into the very specific machine. So this is a CED. I can't remember off the top of my head what it stands for, but it's massive. It's thin, which could help on storage space, but what basically is held in here is basically a vinyl, a very kind of sensitive vinyl that needs to be protected by this box, because you really don't want to be touching it, because that can cause a lot of damage to it. But professing the quality, I've never seen one of these played. I have no means of playing any of these. Which is probably the main point of this video, is if I can't play it, why would I have it? And I mean, to be fair, I think I got this and the other ones that I'm going to show you as almost like a time capsule of a forgotten tech, forgotten history. It's very much a thing I would like to maybe present if I ever opened a museum or something, for collectibles and all these bits and pieces. CEDs, a forgotten format. But essentially, there is a vinyl-like disc in here. Equatable wise, I would think, quality wise, I think this was the format that came out before Laserdiscs. This was an analog format that essentially could be compared to the quality of a VHS. Now, we all know about the physical media wars between VHS, Betamax, and VHS 1. We've had HD DVDs and Blu-rays. Blu-rays 1. I feel as if maybe this is one of those losers on a scale like that, because far superior are the likes of DVDs and Laserdiscs and things. It was a product of its time, probably demanded a premium price label, which probably led to it not being taken up so much, and is probably why the format essentially died a death, and why it's up to collectors and things to kind of preserve it before they're all lost to time, basically. But when it comes to actually the playing of one of these, it does say at the top here, to say side A or side 1 on 2. Essentially, with this, the box is an integral part of this. So, to demonstrate this, if I had a CED player, you would put it in like that, and then remove it, and that would leave the disc in the machine to play. To take it out, you would then put it back in and take it out. Or, indeed, how I noticed that I said sides, you would have to literally turn it over, flip it, and then put it back in, much like a vinyl would, like double the storage capacity by having it playable on both sides, which is a really interesting take. Now, when it comes to these, I think very much like the Laserdiscs, I am interested in these because of the artwork. The artwork has almost surpassed like what's on the disc, if that makes sense. And I know that can be kind of a bit of a weird saying, but I really do think that the artwork on the likes of Laserdiscs, even these to a certain extent, really does outperform a lot of like the DVDs and Blu-rays we see today. But if I move on now from the Amityville Horror, I haven't really talked too much about the actual movies themselves, but the Amityville Horror was one that I got for the grand sum of around £10, which I think is an absolute bargain regarding these, because these are obviously a older physical media format. Now, when it comes to these, I do think the Laserdiscs, I'm just comparing Laserdiscs and things now, I do think the Laserdiscs are more sought after. They are more equatable to the quality of like DVDs and things, whereas this is obviously an older and weaker format in presentation, but I think it still has its place in the collection, because I mean, you don't get that kind of artwork and things on DVDs and stuff, do you? You really don't. I think the major drawback when it comes to actually these bits of formats are the storage. The storage is always going to be a bit of an issue when it comes to physical media, especially when you have a larger collection much like this. So I have two more instances of CEDs here. One is, in my opinion, really cool, and then the other one is like really cool as well. I kind of started on the weaker of the artworks. This one I actually got from 101 Films, this on 4K, like earlier in the year, and that is The Sword and the Sorcerer. This is a CED I never knew existed, never knew I wanted until I saw it, and it just happened to coincide with the fact that The Sword and the Sorcerer was coming out on 4K. Look at that beauty. That is so cool on a legendary scale of epic proportions. It really does present to you like the artwork of the movie. It is very much and far superior to the DVD version of this particular artwork, in my opinion. The fact that I managed to get hold of this for a good price is amazing, and I will never stop remembering that fact when looking at this, because wow, I got this again, I think it was around the £10 mark, and that is stellar, and I've never seen an instance of this on a CED since. Just show you the back now. Very, very cool. Now, okay, odd little thing when it comes to The Sword and the Sorcerer. Great movie. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do. I seem to have acquired quite a few copies of The Sword and the Sorcerer in different formats. I do have the CED, I do have the Blu-ray, I do have the VHS, I do have the 4K, and I do have the Laserdisc of Sword and the Sorcerer. So I think the only format missing there is the video, which is quite easy to acquire, which is quite nice. I really think, of all the movies, I think that's a nice little kind of duplication collection of a movie that really does deserve like a place in a like sword and sorcery like fantasy movie like section of your physical media. I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but to me this is one of those like standout little movies, much like Conan the Barbarian, though Conan the Barbarian is like so good. This one is one of those little forgotten movies that I think is worth your time and your attention if you're looking for a movie like this. Actually, I mean, to be fair, I may as well just get out the Sword and Sorcerer because it is so easily accessible right now. If you would like to see an unboxing of the 101 Films Black Label collection of the Sword and Sorcerer, please let me know, as I would love to do maybe a little more like further discussion on this whole duplication thing regarding this particular movie. And another movie, which may surprise you, which is also coming out really soon. I think it actually might have already come out. I'll have to definitely track that one down. So stay tuned for that. So I'll just put that back on the shelf before I move on to the final movie of this particular CED collection. So, the final item here is none other than a very highly regarded werewolf movie, of course, which is The Howling. Look at that artwork. That looks awesome. I think these are just great. If I can work out some kind of way of displaying these so you can see the artwork, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I know a lot of people have gone down the framing route regarding laser discs and things, and have found themselves kind of almost overrun by like how many they have and things. But that does mean you'd have to buy a frame for each of the things potentially, and that's a lot of work and hassle. Whereas I know for actual vinyl records and things, you can get like wall mounts and things, so you can basically put them on the wall like that, look at them, don't like it, okay, I'll just pick it up, change it, which does kind of add a level of customization to like your living space, if you will, which I would love to kind of incorporate into this particular room on some of the walls you don't see in these particular videos. But anyway, yes, The Howling, great movie. I have this on 4K as well. It's a movie that came out at a very similar time to An American Werewolf in London. They are both very good werewolf movies. American Werewolf in London is the superior, but this shouldn't be missed, in my opinion. Overall, I think that after this Howling movie, the Howling franchise kind of jumped off a cliff and then managed to find another cliff and jump off it several times over. It does kind of have peaks and troughs in the franchise, but none are equatable to the original, in my opinion. And probably yours too. If you've seen the Howling movies, you know what I'm talking about. So there, that is my CED collection. I have 3 as of time of recording. Am I looking for more? I'm not saying no, but I think artwork-wise, I'm more interested in the Laserdisc, because it seems to be like the popular opinion. But that said, I do think there are funky, freaky old retro physical media formats that, I mean, it'd be really cool at some point to pick up a CED player and see what it looks like. That would be crazy to think about. But we're nowhere near that yet, I don't think, because the prices are a bit expensive, I think. But in the meantime, I think I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye out for some more titles. I think there are a few out there that are kind of popping to mind that will be fun to have maybe presented. I know Clash of the Titans will be a good one. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, I've always had fun with that movie. That's another good one. Or maybe some more obscure titles that I've only got in this particular format. That would be kind of annoying and weird at the same time, but fun nonetheless. Have you got any CEDs? What's your opinion on retro physical media? Do you think it is worth your time and money, or do you think it is a complete waste and I should be spending it on 4Ks, Blu-rays and DVDs? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear and read your opinions on the matter, and whether or not you have any of these particular retro physical media formats, or if you have any other forms of retro physical media you think would be worth my attention. That would be great fun, and I would love to pursue a conversation regarding that particular one for future videos. So, in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next one.